Slava Jesus Christus, Slava Navika, glory be to Jesus Christ, glory be forever. This is Father Basil again. Hope everyone's doing well wherever you're listening from. I've had a busy weekend like always as a priest, 6 services, lots of driving, but I do like my new car, or my new car for me. Of course, it's not a brand new car, but slightly used, and I'm really enjoying driving it. And anyways, today I'll just maybe do something different for a few weeks and just talk about different quotes that I read. And if you go on Facebook, if you go on these websites, there's always these quotes that you can read about from different people in the world who talk about different things. And I really enjoy these quotes. They could be Christian, they could be non-Christian quotes. Just things to think about as we live our day-to-day life. How do we deal with things in life? How do we deal with adversity? How do we deal with disappointment? How do we deal with the struggles that we have every day in life? And this quote is attributed to Thomas Edison that I'm going to read today. Most of you know who Thomas Edison is. Of course, they say that he invented electricity, invented the light bulb, all that stuff. And he lived, of course, in the States in the 19th century. And this is what he said. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So let's listen to this again. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Now, this quote really is something I've been reflecting upon, after I read it today. And, we often give up too easily in life. We don't want to commit to relationships. We don't want to commit to a job. We don't want to commit to whatever it is in life because we get, we don't want to work at it. We don't want to work to improve ourselves. We don't want to work to make things better for ourselves. So when we get in a tough situation, we often just give up. We often just say, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm just going to throw my hands up and be done with it. And again, this is why there's such a high divorce rate in our world today, especially in North America. There's this, the people just don't want to work on improving things. They just, as soon as something happens in their life, in their marriage, in their relationship, they just like, oh, well, I'm gone. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna go somewhere where I don't have to work on things as much as I'm doing now. And this quote by Thomas Edison really shows that we shouldn't give up that easily, because overcoming those obstacles, overcoming those fears in our life can lead to great things happening. Imagine if all these great inventors in life, all these great people who we think invented, like Thomas Edison himself, I'm sure that he he had many disappointments when he was doing his different research, when he was testing things out, when he was doing all these different things. And if he would have given up that easily, if Thomas Edison would have said after a few mishaps or after a few times where things didn't work out the way he wanted them to, if he had said, well, I'm just gonna go do something else now. And can you imagine how our world would be different if people just did that? People that say, well, I don't want to work on it anymore. After I failed once or twice, I'm just done, And that's a terrible attitude to have in life, It's a terrible attitude to say, well, I don't want to work on it anymore. I'm done. As soon as something bad happens, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And we have to get over that attitude. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway society. That's what I call our society today. It's not just electronics. And I think I've talked about it on my other podcast before, where things are not made to last anymore. I just bought a new car for myself, not a new car, but a car I never had before, a slightly used car. And I hope to have it. I drive a lot of kilometers every week, every month, every year, and those kilometers add up. So, you need a newer model once in a while because things break down eventually. But, you should keep it as long as possible and fix it and improve upon it and do all these things. And that's the same with life in general. We can't just throw away things, because we don't want to fix it. As soon as something breaks down, we'd say, "Well, I'm done. I'm gonna do something else now. I'm gonna go somewhere else." We have to have perseverance. We have to be persistent in doing things, because that is that. If we are persistent, we can do great things in this world. We can do really, really wonderful things if we happen to be persistent in the way we do things. So, again, with all these famous inventors in this world, if they gave up after their first couple of times doing something, where would our world be right now? If Thomas Edison said, okay, I'm going to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. I failed. Well, we wouldn't, have electricity the way we have today. And the many other things he invented. So, and it's the same in the relationships. If we say, well, I'm not gonna work on it. I'm not gonna work on my relationship anymore. I'm done. As soon as someone does one thing, as soon as they, hurt me once, I'm out of here. Well, that's not how we should be. We have to be forgiving. We have to be kind and really have patience. Have that patience to look beyond what's happening right now and say, okay, it's not always going to be this bad. It's not always going to be this horrible in my relationship or my job or my whatever it is we're looking at, because life does have joy. God didn't put us in this world to be miserable. We have to find joy in our day-to-day life. We have to find joy in the things that we do every day, in our friendships, in our relationships, in our work that we do. We have to find joy in that, because God made us to be joyful. God made us to be happy and friendly to others. So, we have to have a different mindset when we're dealing with things, when we're dealing with failure, when we're dealing with the mistakes that we do in life. We have to say, okay, I might have made a mistake. I'm not going to do that again. I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned from my failures. I'm just going to go forward in life. I'm just going to go forward in life and be positive and be joyful and be glad with what the Lord has given to me. And I'm going to overcome this obstacle that's in my way. So, anyways, this quote that I read at the beginning of this podcast from Thomas Edison, I think it's something really to reflect upon. Sometimes we're so close to overcoming something. We're so close to overcoming that addiction that we have. We're so close to overcoming our health issues. We're so close to overcoming financial issues or whatever it may be. So don't give up. Don't give up at all. Ask God to guide us. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide us in the right path, because Jesus is always listening to us. Jesus is always there helping us find the right path to overcome our obstacles. Okay, and again, like Thomas Edison said, if we overcome those fears, overcome those obstacles in our way, and persevere, St. Paul in his letters often talks about perseverance, the running the race. Think about that old fable, the tortoise and the hare, or the turtle and the rabbit, whatever you want to call it today. And the race is not about how fast you can do it. It's about perseverance, getting to the finish line. And of course, our finish line is the heavenly kingdom. Getting to heaven with God, with Jesus, with the saints and angels. We're working towards that goal. We're always directing ourselves towards the finish line in life. And to overcome all these things that are in our way from our relationship with God. And that's what perseverance is all about. So, in the long run, if you look at things, our goal is to be in heaven, right? So everything that prevents us from being in heaven, the devil is trying to prevent us from a relationship with God. He's causing us all this suffering. He's causing us all this confusion in life. And this is why this world is so confused, because we are not focused on the right goal. We are not focused on who we should be focused on, which is God. If we focus on other things besides God, we are not going to find success. We are not going to find what we're really looking for, what we need in our life. The only thing we can focus on is God, the Almighty Father, and focus on Him for everything. And all those obstacles that are in our way, they're gonna, they won't feel so bad anymore, because God is gonna lead us through everything. Jesus is gonna pull us by His hands, with His strength, and say, "Hey, I'm gonna pull you out of this mess. I'm gonna pull you out of all these things that you've done, that because of our sinfulness, because of our arrogance, because of our this pride, that we don't want to listen to God. But God still loves us so much. Jesus still loves us. He's going to pull us out of that murky abyss. He's going to pull us out of that garbage dump that we're in, that we're stuck in, with all this sin around us, with all this bad things around us that are preventing us from being the servants of God. So we are going to be pulled out of that, out of those obstacles, and led towards our goal, which is heaven. God bless you. Have a good day.